This past week on Wednesday, thousands of high school students walked out of their regular school schedule and moved into the classroom of the streets. They wanted to call for the end to the epidemic of gun violence and for safer schools. Many Chicago public schools turned out the walk into a learning opportunity. Some suburban students ended up with detention. We have a couple of young women here who were part of the Evanston Township High School rally. Some 4,000 students marched and also did some poetry and some other performance art. We welcome Liana and Onyx. Thank you so much for joining Life in the Heartland.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome, gals.
So when you started hearing about things like the Parkland shootings or other stuff maybe even going on in your own communities, how did you decide to react this way to trying to say something about gun violence in schools?
So my initial reaction to the Parkland shooting, through watching TV and the media, I noticed that they used certain terms over and over again, like mental illness, see something, say something, people kill people, guns don't kill people, and that just really upset me and made me really frustrated because they were missing a lot of the major topics of gun violence and guns kill people, and so it really just frustrated me, and I knew I had to write it down and I had to say something and to bring light on the voices that were not being talked about.
Yeah, the rhetoric that they use in the media is really damaging and misleading to a lot of people. I would say saying those kind of things, it promotes the idea that like certain lives are less valuable than others, simply as that, and that's problematic.
So as you talked about this in high school with your colleagues, how did you decide to take action about it?
One of the major ways that I process is through spoken word, through writing poetry. And actually after the walkout, my A-Push history class had an entire conversation about it. And we talked about the difference between the youth movement for gun violence and the adult movement for the gun violence. Adult movements will use words like mental illness and see something, say something. The youth will really focus on poverty and the shootings that have been happening in major inner cities, and that's never been recognized before, that's never caused a national walkout. And so that is the real difference between the youth movement against gun violence and the adult one.
That's Liana Wallace, who we're going to hear from in a moment because you, in fact, did some spoken word about this. Onyx York, what did your colleagues say when they heard that the students saying Downers Grove were going to end up facing detention over their walkout?
At Evanston they do encourage us to stand up, stand out, and say what we need to say. So I do appreciate that our school gave us that leeway to be able to do that. So I think what I was feeling was a sense of pride and just like appreciation for that accommodation that our school provided us, and I was just feeling like I'm so sorry that they had to deal with detention because of that.
Mm-hmm.
When we are allowed a longer period.
That said, were there any students at Evanston Township who were not in support of the walkout?
Yes.
And what was your experience with them?
Yeah, so the Evanstonian student newspaper that I write for, we kind of did a poll on that, and a lot of what the reasoning behind why people didn't participate was either they simply didn't understand the movement, they had different ideas about gun laws, and those are the two main reasons. They just didn't understand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I just want to say that I had a piece sent to me about someone saying, why don't you all talk to the person who's in the room who doesn't have friends? Why don't you invite that person to sit down and have lunch with you? Why do you have to walk out? And it struck me as, why are these two mutually exclusive? Mm-hmm. So you were.
So that's the walk up instead of walk out movement. And I have some opinions about that. I don't think it is our responsibility to be everybody's lab partner and make sure everybody has a partner in PE or whatever the case may be. I don't think it's our responsibility. I do think bullying is wrong and it's not cool. But who's to say, that this socially awkward kid needs me to walk up to them and be their friend for them to not kill me and my peers and my teachers, in my school. I don't.
Yeah, it's kind of a leap, isn't
it? I don't think that's the direct solution. I think that can help, socially around schools, but that's not the direct solution.
And I do think that was one of the main things that we talked about in A Push, like what the kids who are staying in school, why are they staying in the school, and why don't we get to have conversations with different viewpoints, right? A lot of them, and especially in diverse communities, they're afraid to state their opinion, and that does so much harm if we cannot have conversations in civil discourse. Unlike the grown-ups that can't have them, then we're going to end up like the grown-ups, and we don't want that. We want to have civil discourse and real conversations.
So Leanne, you produced a really powerful spoken word piece that was recited at the rally. We'd like to share that with our listeners now, if you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. This is called See Something, Say Something. You said it was mental. A mental illness, something wrong like a mother who can't grieve because a little boy down the street could buy a gun more easily than a pack of cigarettes. Because this is America, and I've learned a thing or two about mental illness, how it was harvested, how the bloody skulls of men of color would be battered against the walls of institutionalized prisons, and yet a diagnosis of mental illness is too kind. Oh, but we are blind to the rifle that kills school children. To the rifle and to the white man holding it, America says mental illness. And mental illness is so real, but its use is purely...
a secret.
Yes.
Protecting.
But its use is purely a secret, protecting rich to a golden seal, the NRA to its profits and human life to a deal. Because guns kill people. Because guns have been killing my people and their bodies have been piling up on the bottom of the Mississippi River. And now babies' bodies' blood spill over textbooks. How many more babies, how many more shrieks and pops and cracks will it take for you to find a piece of your soul? Guns have been killing people and their names have been forgotten. Medgar Evers, Philando Castile, Trayvon Martin, black lives have never mattered. But now it is clear that kindergartners, that high schoolers, their lives are less valuable than the profit that fills your pockets. In this act, you have committed the worst mistake, uniting white and people of color in a blinding frustration after feeding us to crime. Immigrant bodies shoved into detention centers, then into communities where light is gone and survival is empty bellies, which you have fed and filled with the guns you sold to us, with the guns that you can't afford not to give us. Guns kill people, and you don't seem to care which communities they kill anymore. It's come to my attention you intend to save us with more guns. Instead of life, you force death to fight death, placing guns in the hands of professors, an effort to protect us. But all we need protecting from is you who do not know the basic laws of light, that darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. And providing more guns and more violence can only bring more guns and more violence. If the device which a person could kill 15 others in a matter of minutes did not exist, then you would not need protecting from. You said thoughts and prayers. Was it thoughts and prayers that you hoped to save us with? You told us, see something, say something. That you said, see something, say something to founding fathers. Our founding fathers, did you see this? When you left scratched into the Constitution a well-regulated militia, could you see that barrels of bullets would fly through windows where education was intended? Could you not see the way a president's clothes would become drenched in blood? His pockets full with each dollar bill the NRA provided. Could you not see it? Have you forgotten the lives? Do you not hear their names when you sleep? Can you not hear the bullets that blaze through to take breath? Yaquez, Deje, Scott Beagle, Martin Anguiano, and those under the age of 10, do not hear their laughter being pulled out into blackness, their voices crying, this land was made for you and me. Charlotte Bacon, Anna Green, Noah Posner, can you not hear them? Could you not see this? You said, see something, say something. They say, see something, say something. The school children, we see something. The college students, they see something. Emma Gonzalez, she sees something. Tomorrow, he sees something, and we are saying something. We are saying something. Will you say something? We will organize. We will shut down schools. We will protest and yell, united. History will tell the story, and your true colors will bleed through its books and off the lips of those who refuse to forget. We hear stolen lives, laughter, and behold it. We will not exist in silence. We will not live in a world, in a society where human life is worthless. We see something. On our founding fathers and on the pockets that keep the rich full, we will continue to say something.
Pretty nice.
Whoa. Not a dry eye. Not a dry eye here. Liana Wallace, thank you so much. Part of the reason this happened was our producer, Lynn Orman Weiss, was present at your reading of that Wednesday, and I was present at the Sullivan High School. What should adults know and do to be there for you?
I definitely think it is important that adults listen to the youth and make sure that they're teaching their young people to definitely think about perspectives that are not in the room at every moment, and just critical thinking constantly. Every voice that's not in a room needs to be thought about, and if it's not in that room, then you need to go out and find it.
Woo. Well
Onyx, we
said.
learned coming in this morning that you're a first-time voter,
Yes, I am.
and you're going off to Howard.
Howard
Journalism,
University.
you hope, in the
Yes,
fall?
I was.
Nice.
Yes.
Thank you.
So as a scribe to explain stuff to other folks, if I can infer from your desire to become a journalist, how does this kind of direct action inform your approach to being a good writer, a good chronicler of our times?
I think the key to being a good writer is to be excited about what you're writing about. And these movements excite me, they inspire me to write and to hopefully inspire other people. And I think that's the main drive that I work with oftentimes. Yeah.
What was it like when you heard this poem, if I can call it that? You call it spoken word performance.
So yeah, Liana Wallace is amazing. Like, we've been on a slam team together. We were on
Oh, I bet
yeah.
you guys are ferocious.
Yes, we were on a spoken word slam team, a competitive one, at our school, Evanston Township, where we participated in the Louder Than a Bomb festival last year. So I've been honored to work with her and hear her work and see her grow. We also went to middle school together where we were still spitting fire back then. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Why do you think there's more attention suddenly, it seems to me, because we've talked about gun violence all my adult life. That's a long time now. Why does this moment seem different to me? What are you feeling might happen this time?
Right now, I think it's very clear that we are living in a country divided, and I think that might be the difference maker. You know, tensions are really, really high right now, and people are in this weird consciousness where something's pulling them to maybe stay awake or maybe stay asleep, and so you know, it's a really, really strange predicament we're having right now. So I think tensions are high.
What a joy to have you in this room. Seriously, it's a privilege. Stay woke. Stay voting. Never ever stop voting. Run for office. I'm serious. And ETHS, I salute your school because they have been with it, so with it. And my niece actually teaches there. I got to give a shout out to Mary Joy Heineman, Carnate Heineman. You know her, right? Yeah. Oh, Mary Joy, you're getting a high pump fist here. Yay. Yes,
I was
Lynn.
going to say, and Liana is off this spring break to American and Georgetown to live in school. So she'll be in D.C.
Woohoo!
Hopefully her voice will be heard there as well.
Thank
You know, I was watching Evanston Township High School was playing Whitney Young in the basketball. How did that game come out? You lost it?
We did.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
All right, we generally, he's our sports corner of this show, so, but really, shine on, you diamonds.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
I really appreciate
Shine
this
on.
opportunity.
Come back anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Good luck
you.
to you.
Thank you.
You
And,
are listening to Live from the Heartland, 88.7 FM on your dial. We will be right back with a couple filmmakers and more heading into this vernal equinox. Peace.